The old lady stretched out her hand and asked the other party what 8 plus 8 equals. Such a difficult question really stumped the other party in an instant. The people holding guns laughed helplessly. Who knew that the next second, the fully armed people were all shot dead? The old lady blew her fingers, and those who couldn't count on their fingers had to die. It turned out that she, nicknamed Ho Ye, had already calculated that the other party wanted to rob the thieves. So she arranged the entire sniper team 10,000 meters away. As long as they couldn't answer this arithmetic problem, they would be killed immediately. The men at the scene hurriedly transferred the 100 billion yuan payment to the Hu Ye's account. Unexpectedly, just after the matter was completed, the Hu Ye wanted to kill them to silence them. You know too much. The next second, watching his men fall into the abyss, the Hu Ye felt that he was safe now. Little did he know that this subordinate was a smart man. He had long expected that the Marquis would kill to silence him. Not only did he secretly transfer the hundreds of billions of goods to his own account, he also wore a bulletproof vest throughout the process and prepared a corpse underwater in advance. He escaped directly and successfully. At this time, a virus program popped up on the computer. The Marquis realized that he had been calculated by his younger brother. He was furious and vowed to find the other party and cut him into pieces. Little did he know that the man had already thought of a way out. He went directly to South Korea for a thorough plastic surgery. From his appearance to his voice, he was completely changed. Even his mother couldn't recognize him when she stood in front of him. The employee only reimbursed 2 yuan for transportation fees on a business trip, and the boss had him put a plastic bag on him to suffocate him to death. Before leaving, he also released a live corpse to destroy the body, just because his boss was the most ruthless drug lord in Southeast Asia. However, for such a ruthless character, one of his subordinates secretly transferred hundreds of billions of goods. She also performed a trick in front of him, escaping from the trap and escaping successfully. At this time, Erzu had changed his appearance in Korea and was preparing for a new life. Unexpectedly, his twin brother Daju learned about his brother's tragic death and was determined to find out the truth about his brother's death. As a result, he was pointed at his head with a gun as soon as he came to his brother's room. It turned out to be his brother's girlfriend. Kuihua also came here to investigate the truth about Erzu's death. Unexpectedly, he mistook Daju for Erzu at this time. In excitement, he vented all his love and hatred for Erzu on Daju. Regardless of Daju's desperate struggle, he forced to have a deep communication with him. At this critical moment, there was a sudden movement outside. The two hurriedly jumped out of the window to escape. It turned out that the Hu Ye's men came to the door, knocked the two down directly on the street, caught them in the car, and prepared to take them back to receive the reward. Fortunately, both of them were meat eaters, and after a fierce fight, they solved all the gangsters. But the injured Kuihua was rescued by the police, who rushed over. The two could only separate temporarily. Dazu went to the bar to ask his friends for help, but they told him to leave the city as soon as possible. Because the influence of the Marquis was spread all over the city, no one could do anything about it, and even he had to pay tribute regularly to do business with peace of mind. Unexpectedly, when he was leaving, Dazu was targeted by the Marquis' men because the twin brothers looked so much alike. Fortunately, his younger brother Erzu appeared in time and rescued his brother Dazu. It was not until then that Dazu knew that his brother had plastic surgery to make him look like he is now for money. He was so angry that he left on the spot. At this time, the friend found that their whereabouts had been followed by the Marquis. Erzu hurriedly handed the evidence of the Marquis' crime to his girlfriend, and then he hurriedly continued to escape. Who knew that he was discovered by the Howie's men just as he arrived on the street? As expected, Erzu was captured by the Haoye. It would take several electric eels to discharge electricity at the same time to kill an adult male. The Haoye, who is known as the most ruthless person in Southeast Asia, was throwing another electric eel into the water. Erzu was instantly electrocuted and grimaced. The water surface was steaming and sparking. He dared to steal the Haoye's hundreds of billions of goods. Why don't you take out the money? I will deal with you slowly. But now Erzu can't take out the money at all because he had handed over the evidence of the Haoye's crime and the money to his girlfriend Kuihua before he was arrested. In order to rescue Erzu, Kuihua was handing all the evidence to the police chief, asking them to find a way to help her rescue Erzu. Unexpectedly, the chief attacked him from behind and knocked him out. It turned out that the chief was the insider planted by the Haoye and the police. Kuihua was then brought before the Marquis. Seeing his girlfriend being captured, Erzu was so angry that he screamed. Fortunately, Erzu's twin brother Daju appeared in time. Fighting with the Marquis' men, with his flexible positioning and accurate shooting skills, he quickly gained the upper hand. In addition, the police force also came at this time. It was Daju who called the police before he came. The Marquis' team was completely suppressed at this time, and soon it was defeated. Seeing that the situation was hopeless, the Marquis got in the car and was about to escape. Daju drove the car to stop him. The Marquis pretended to be shot and waited for Daju to come forward and raised his hand to shoot. Fortunately, Daju was sensitive and was not hit in the vitals. His men took the opportunity to take out the flying chess. Let the Marquis board the aircraft and escape to the sea. Dazhu brothers would never let him go and attacked him violently. In this way, the Marquis was shot down and fell into the sea, and his evil heart was destroyed. At the end of the story, Erzu had plastic surgery to return to his original appearance, preparing to start a new life with his girlfriend Kuihua. However, just when the three were full of hope for the future, Erzu received a call. "You can't recognize my voice so soon? Don't worry, I will find you soon." It turns out that the Marquis is not dead. At this time, her face is full of positioning lines. This 80-year-old woman wants to have plastic surgery to become an 18-year-old girl and come back to the world to seek revenge on Erzu.